All right, NFL fans, it's the NFL aficionado fiend here, going with our Week 7 predictions. It was a rough week last week, guess especially against points against the spread, but hopefully we'll do better this week. Straight up picks we're still doing well on, but then point spreads are getting me. So just went through and double checked all the point spreads. Currently, as of right now, Thursday evening, 5 p.m. Central Time. So let's jump right into it because we do got a Thursday night game on. So we've got Pittsburgh going to play Cincinnati. Just came out that Trey Henderson will not play tonight, which is a huge blow to an already terrible Cincinnati defense. So Cincinnati getting 4.5 points in this game. Man, I'm going to hate to do it, but I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this game tonight, and I'm picking them to cover the spread. I just don't see Cincinnati being able to keep up, be able to play against that Steeler defense. And Aaron Rodgers has actually solidified that offense to where it looks like a starting NFL offense. And the defense has come alive in the last couple of games. So those of you who got fantasy points with the Bengals, man, hopefully they get some garbage time points for us. But for right now, like I said, Pittsburgh winning and covering the spread, since they getting 4.5 points. Moving on to the next game. This is an overseas game, 8:30 kickoff time. 8:30 kickoff time. Rams are going to play the Jaguars overseas. Jaguars getting 2.5 points this week against the Rams. Kind of wanted to pick the Jaguars. I think they want a bounce back game after beating the Chiefs, choking that game away against Seattle. But I think the Rams are going to get this one. I think they're upset. I think they're a good team. Puka is going to miss, so that should hurt the offense a little bit, but not too much. I think they've got some other players there that are decent enough. And hopefully, Matthew Stafford has a comeback game for fantasy deals and gets back to putting those points on the board. So picking the Rams to win and cover. Rams are the away team, and the Jags are the home team in that game, in that overseas game. So Rams winning and beating the Jags, covering the spread. Moving on to New Orleans, they're going to travel to Chicago this week. They're getting 4.5 points to play the Bears. Man, I was really split on this one. I think the New Orleans is playing better and better. They just don't have a lot of talent right now. But the other side of the ball is the Chicago Bears. They're the enigma. They've got a lot of talent on offense, but they just don't seem to be clicking. They did win last week in Washington, but it was an ugly win. It was a hard-fought win. So I kind of was like, man, I think New Orleans kind of gets in and sneaks one in here. Now, they are getting 4.5 points, and because of how bad the Bears have been playing, or how I won't say bad, we'll say inconsistent, and you don't know what you're going to get week to week out of Caleb and that offense or that defense. I picked the Bears to win this game because it's at home, but they will not cover the point spread. So if you're betting points, take the Saints and the 4.5 points they're given. So Bears in the straight up victory, but take the Saints if you're betting points. So moving on, we have Miami going to play the Browns. Obviously, last week everybody saw Tua kind of rag on his team at the end of the game with that game they choked away to the Chargers. And he come out and said all the right things and apologized and, hey, I shouldn't have done that, blah 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 blah. I thought that Miami was really, after that hard-fought victory or hard-fought loss against the Bills on Thursday night, I was like, hey, the Miami hasn't quit on them. The Tyreek Hill injury happened. So I'll be honest, I think the Browns have a good defense. I think they're starting to put things together. We know how bad the Miami rushing defense is, and the Browns have that young rookie, Judkins, in the backfield. So this is my first upset of the week. I'm picking the Browns to win and upset the Dolphins because it's in Cleveland, and I don't think the weather's going to be bad. Seems like the entire country's on a warm streak right now. I know in Dallas we're still at 90 degrees, and it's the October 16th. The wife was in the swimming pool just yesterday working on her tan, so it's not quite cold yet. But I'm going to pick the Browns to upset Miami and win at home and give the dog pound a much needed win for those Cleveland Brown fans. So moving on to the next game, we have the Patriots going to play at Tennessee. Tennessee's getting 6.5, but I believe the Patriots are playing pretty decent ball right now. Mike Varial's putting a stamp on that team. Big win against Buffalo. Held on to win against the Saints. They're starting to stack wins. Drake May is getting more confident. The defense is starting to really gel under Mike Variable. So I'm going to pick the Patriots to not only win, but blow out Tennessee. I think the 6.5 is a little unforgiving to the Patriots, being what they've been able to do. Sitting at 4-2 right now. So Pats win big. They're going to cover the spread. Moving on, we have Vegas going to play Kansas City at Chiefs Kingdom. That's a big deal there. 12.5 points seems a little rich to me, but Rashid Rice is coming back this game, and that offense is starting to gel and put things together. So I'm going to say, hey, take KC, take the points, even though it's a big spread. I think KC is starting to become a juggernaut, and I would not be shocked if after this weekend you start to see them in the top 5, top 3, and start to roll. They're looking scary. Little concerned about the defensive side, but if that offense starts stacking 30-point games on, the defense, Spagnuolo is a stud. So take KC and the points at home against Vegas. Moving on, we have Philly traveling to Minnesota. The Vikings are only getting 1.5 points. That's shocking because Philly, to me, is much better, but Philly has played like garbage the last 2 games. It's funny, both last undefeated teams both have serious questions about them right now, the Bills and the Eagles. But keeping us on Philly at the Vikings, still don't just know what you're going to get out of Carson Wentz and that offense. They have that scheming defense, but I think Philly starts to put things together and starts to right the ship, and this is where they snap their 2-game losing streak and they start to get things done. So I'm going to take Philly, and I'm going to say they cover the spread because the Vikings only get 1.5 points. So Philly and covers the spread. Moving on, we have Carolina going to play the Jets. The Jets are an absolute barn burner of a team right now. It's probably about to be a fire sale of their team. Breece Hall's trying to get out of Dodge. They're talking about Quentin Williams may be traded, which is not bad. I mean, basically, that's what you need to do when you're building a team. Take your stars and trade them for draft picks and build draft capital. Build a young roster. You already signed Sauce Gardner. You already signed Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson will miss this game as well. He has a hyperextension of his knee, so he'll be out a couple games. They don't have a whole. Justin Fields has just completely regressed. He's not playing good quarterback. I wouldn't be shocked if he continues down his downward spiral. They pull him and they bench him this game. But Carolina's putting on a roll. They seem to have a good thing going that they're starting to pick up. They beat Dallas last week. They're getting feisty. So I'm going to pick Carolina, and I'm going to pick them to cover the point spread. Being the Jets are only get 1.5 points on this game. Moving on, got the Giants going to travel to Denver. Giants are getting 7.5 this game. That's kind of rich for me because Denver really hasn't shown a whole lot. They barely beat the New York Jets last week, 13-11. I know the game was overseas. I'm so sick of these overseas games. They're usually trash. They're usually terrible. Again, I get they're trying to grow the sport and expand the sport, but let's enough of this overseas crap you got going on here, NFL. Let's bring it home to the real fans that are here. If you want to watch it, make them fools get up over there and watch their games. Don't make us get up at 8:30 in the morning to see a game in England on a field that ain't. It's hard to watch. You don't have real fans there. Well, I can't say you don't have real fans because you got fans all over the place, but getting tired of these overseas games, man. So anyways, but because Denver has been so inconsistent on offense, not worried about their defense. Their defense is absolutely elite. Those guys are getting after the quarterback. I'm really looking forward to seeing Denver and Kansas City play, but because the 7.5 points is a little rich for me, I'm going to say Denver wins this game straight up. But if you're betting points, take the Giants in the 7.5. That seems really rich to me for a team that just scored 13 points last week on the sorry Jets. Again, was overseas, but still, anyways, so Denver wins straight up, but take the Giants and the 7.5 if you're betting the points. Next, we have the Colts going to play the Chargers. This one is weird to me. The Colts are actually favored in this game, which was shocked. I had to double check it again to make sure we're right, but they are actually favoring the Chargers in this game. Now, maybe it's a home game. I don't know, but the Chargers' injuries have been inconsistent. Kind of haven't looked like this. They definitely don't look like that team that played in Brazil on Friday night and beat the Chiefs. So basically, I'm going to pick the Colts to actually upset the Chargers, even though it's at SoFi for the Chargers. But yeah, that blows me away because the Colts are playing unbelievable ball right now. Jonathan Taylor's getting it done. Daniel Jones is still not turned back into a pumpkin, and that defense is starting to build confidence and play well. So don't know why the Chargers are favored, but I'm going to take the Colts in this one and take the upset. Next, we have Washington coming to the hometown Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is getting 1.5 in this game, which is crazy to me. Don't know if CeeDee Lamb may or may not play. I think he's still, because of how well the offense has been playing, I think they sit him another week. But Pickens, Ferguson, Williams, they've been going off. Dak is having another awesome year after injury. So I'm going to take Dallas in this one and for the upset against Washington. I really have no idea why Washington is favored in this game. It's at home. I would pick Dallas, but double check that one again. Yep, Dallas getting 1.5. So taking the underdogs here at home, and we know how well Dallas plays at their home stadium, at their home crowd. So, anyways, that kind of was an easy one for me. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers going to play Arizona. Arizona getting 6.5 in this game. It's at home for Arizona. Something has changed with the Packers defense. They haven't looked the same or as dominant as they were early in the season. I think teams have kind of figured out how to neutralize them a little bit. And Arizona kind of showed some life last week. Jacoby Brissett, if he continues to do what he does and that offense looks somewhat viable, Kyle Murray may have a trouble coming back. They may be exploring options about Kyler Murray and let just Jacoby Brissett continue to play. So I will take the Packers, though, however, to win this game straight up. But if you're betting points, I say take Arizona. I think that 6.5 points is a little rich for my blood, especially with as inconsistent as the Packers have been playing on defense and what the Arizona Cardinals showed. And it's at home for Arizona. So, all right, moving on. This one shocked me too. 49ers are absolutely banged up, but you have the Atlanta Falcons red hot coming on that big win they had against Buffalo on Monday night. That absolute dog walking they did to the Bills. So I'm kind of shocked to see Atlanta getting 2.5 points here. Had to double check that as well, but nope. San Francisco's favored in this game. So maybe it's because it's in San Fran. Not really sure. It is the Sunday night game. So Atlanta gets a Monday night game and then goes and has to travel to a Sunday night game. But I'm going to pick Atlanta to win straight up. I think they've got their offense figured out. That defense can get after the quarterback. We know how banged up the 49ers are. So I'm very shocked that Atlanta is not actually favored in this one, or it's a little bit closer. But yeah, so picking Atlanta to upset the 49ers at the 49ers house. And we're back to the 2 Monday night games. Again this week. Terrible for anybody that wants to watch the second of the 2 games. You got Tampa going to play Detroit. That game kicks off at 6 p.m. Tampa is getting 5.5 points in this game against the Lions. I'm really worried about this one. Tampa is just Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irvin, now Ibuka. They're going to be playing street level free agents out there now. Detroit laid an egg last week at Kansas City, so maybe they come out a little bit angry this week. Tampa's defense does have some spunk to it. They do play well in spurts, but I think the offense is just so banged up. And as great as Baker Mayfield has been playing, I just don't know if he continues this ride that he's been on to get them to 5-1. And I think he's a top, Tampa's right now top 2, top 3. Some people might have them as the best team in the league. I'm not quite buying that yet, but long season, I wouldn't pick Tampa Bay right now if they went to play Kansas City at Tampa. Sorry. But anyways, Lions, like I said, our Tampa Bay is favored, but I say the Lions win this game, but the point spread is too high for me. So I'm going to say if you're betting straight up, Lions, take the Lions. But if you're taking the points, take Tampa Bay and the 5.5 they're getting. Okay. Next, we're moving on to Seattle. Houston is going to play them. This one scares me too, simply because Houston, they're coming off a bye. They got a terrific defense. I think they can cover Jackson Smith, which really seems to be the only offense they have out in Seattle. I know they did get a win last week against the Jaguars. I still don't respect Houston's offense. I think Seattle is the more complete team. I think their defense I think the defense is way better. The Seattle defense is way better than the Houston offense. I think the Houston defense is better than the Seattle offense. But to me, Seattle's defense being and then the way Houston's offense, that's what shifts the board for me. So I'm gonna pick Seattle straight up. Houston's getting 3.5 in this game, but if you're taking points, take Houston in the 3.5. I think this is a really close game where a field goal wins it at the end, or it's some kind of weird score, 17-19, something like that. So taking Seattle straight up win, taking Houston if you're going to play the points. And then the two bye weeks this week are Buffalo and Baltimore. Both teams needs them. They had that great week 1 Sunday night showdown, and then Buffalo went 4-0. And then the last 2 games, they've just been dog walking all over the field, and Baltimore just can't get out of some way. They're unhealthy. They need Jackson back. So Buffalo's sitting at 4-2, Baltimore sitting at 1-5. So, anyways, but yeah, so that's it, guys. So that's the calls this week. Just to recap, we do have one. So my upsets are the Colts over the Chargers. Colts over the Chargers. Who else? I got Dallas beating Washington. I think that's the only upsets I have this week. Is just 2 upsets, which is crazy. But I did bet against the points a little bit more than I usually do. So yeah, so basically yeah, so Colts beat that, which is crazy because the Colts should be favored in that game, and even the Washington Dallas game. To me, I would favor Dallas in that game. So, but those are the 2 upsets I got going on this week. I'm sorry, and the Browns beat Miami. That's my 3rd upset. So those are the 3 upsets I have this week. So, anyways, let me know what you think about the picks. Let me know how you're doing. Are you paying the rent, or are you scrambling? Are you taking payday loans to make the rent in your deal, and how you're working through this season? So, anyways, all right, guys, that's the video. Good luck in week 7, and and we'll talk again next week. Bye.